This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin this Friday with an issuance of a first alert weather day, something that hasn't happened for a while. Let's get the latest from forecaster Summer Schnellbach. Summer?
Yeah, Mike, I was just talking about that. It's been about a month, I think, since our last first alert weather day. We've just been in such a quiet stretch of weather. We have turned a little bit more active this week with more rainy days and more temperature swings. And that's what we're seeing right now ahead of tomorrow's first alert weather day. Right now, looking at South Fargo, looking off to the north and east, we've got overcast skies. We're dry here in Fargo, but we're not dry everywhere. We've got rain in the northern valley that's been lingering all day long. A few passing showers and sprinkles in Grand Forks, but most of that lifting to the north. Light showers in Thief River Falls and New Fulton, now lifting through Langdon, Grafton, Hallock. The bulk of it, though, continuing to push north into Canada. We have had some pesky and stubborn lingering fog this afternoon as well. Grand Forks visibility only at 1.5 miles. 2.5 mile visibility in Devil's Lake, 5 miles now in Roseau and in Hallock. That's been an improvement over the last hour. Temperatures have been on the cool side along with our gray cloudy skies. We're at 54 in Langdon right now, 63 in Hallock and Roseau and in Baudette, 59 Grand Forks, 64 here in Fargo. The warmth is primarily south and east of our viewing area. We're missing out on most of those 70s. Tonight, Mike, we stay dry here in Fargo, but tomorrow is that first alert weather day for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. I'll have that timing and placement for you here in just a few minutes.
Important information. Thanks. Vandals caused damage at Maplewood Park in West Fargo. Several areas of the inclusive park were defaced with spray paint. West Fargo Park District employees were able to clean up most of the paint today. They say they hope to get the rest of it off as soon as they can. Renovations to the park, they were finished in April and included an inclusive and accessible playground with rubber surfacing, an obstacle course, nonverbal communication board, and a Ninja Warrior obstacle course. West Fargo police tell us they are investigating. Traffic was down to just one lane for more than an hour on a road off 52nd Avenue South near Walmart in South Fargo. The gravel truck carrying a load of gravel tipped on its side while turning to go south on 38th Street. The driver, who was uninjured, told us that it might have been unevenly loaded on one side, causing the back end to tip. The truck is one of several taking loads to a nearby field for future use. Police are asking for help tracking down a woman linked to a suspicious package found this week at a Fargo homeless shelter. They're looking for 36-year-old Barbara Poitras. The local bomb squad was called Wednesday afternoon after staff members at the Gladys Ray shelter spotted something suspicious. It turned out to be a backpack full of commercial-grade fireworks. Contact Fargo PD if you have any information about Barbara Poitras. A juror in the recent trial of murdered 14-year-old West Fargo girl is speaking out on what went on in the deliberations that led to 3 guilty verdicts yesterday. 23-year-old Arthur Cawley will be sentenced later this year in the murder of 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson in a South Fargo parking lot last June. Look for that story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. A federal judge who was appointed by former President Donald Trump has been named a special master to review the documents that the FBI seized while executing a search warrant at his Florida home last month. U.S. District Judge Raymond Deary, who's semi-retired, will have until November 30th to look into more than 11,000 records. The judge will also prioritize the documents marked as classified.
Whether or not a document is classified is irrelevant. It's a question of mishandling national security information, even if they have been declassified.
The Department of Justice is still fighting the court's decision to block the access to the documents, pending review, claiming it puts its investigation on hold. The DOJ has filed a notice of appeal. An appeal would be heard by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, where 6 of the 11 judges were appointed by former President Trump. The upcoming general election is nearing. Keep in mind that absentee ballot applications will be available beginning September 29th. Absentee ballots will be mailed to the voters who have applied for an absentee ballot. The last day that ballots will be mailed to voters is October 30th. It's recommended to mail your ballot at least a week before the election, and the ballot must be postmarked to the county on or before November 7th. The vote center locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on November 8th. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan received their latest COVID-19 boosters today in a push to get the public to update their vaccinations. The governor rolled up his sleeve and took the booster while cameras rolled during a news conference today. Walz urging people to get the free bivalent booster shot that can guard against serious illness from Omicron-related variants.
Those are available now, free of charge to Minnesotans across the state from our testing sites that we have set up from Mall of America to our different communities from Duluth to Moorhead.
The booster shots are available to anyone over 12 years old who have already received a series of COVID vaccinations. Today, nearly 300 schools across our country received and were recognized as National Blue Ribbon Schools for this year. 3 of them are in North Dakota. The recognition is based on a school's overall academic performance or progress in closing achievement gaps among student subgroups. Here in the Valley, Larimore Elementary School made the list. The 2 others were out west, Roosevelt Elementary School in Bismarck and Linton Public School. There was a stunning moment inside the walls of Westminster Hall today as the 4 children of Queen Elizabeth, including King Charles III, gathered around her coffin in silent tribute. Reporter Danya Bacchus is in London with more.
King Charles and his 3 siblings stood vigil at their mother's side. For 15 minutes, the Royal 4 paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth II as she lies in state at Westminster Hall. That moment of reflection followed a busy day for the new king. On his first visit to Wales as monarch, trumpets welcomed him and his wife Camilla to a service of remembrance for the Queen. And at the Welsh Parliament, legislators offered condolences.
The land of Wales could not have been closer to my mother's heart.
In London, the national mourning goes on as thousands of visitors wait their turn to visit the Queen's coffin. Even soccer star David Beckham was willing to stick it out.
We all want to be here together. We all want to experience something where we celebrate the amazing life of our Queen.
From this point, it's about a 5-hour wait into Westminster Hall. But for those just joining the line, officials say it could take a full 24 hours before they get inside.
British people quite like queuing, so this is something we're quite good at. It's very organised.
Everyone's so friendly as well.
So this is camaraderie. You've made new friends, your queue friends.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
On Saturday, the Queen's 8 grandchildren will stand vigil beside her coffin. Prince William at the head and Prince Harry at the foot. And at the Queen's request, the brothers will again walk side by side on Monday following her coffin to the funeral. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, London.
With his trip to Wales, the new king has now made stops in all 4 nations of the UK. NDSU and North Dakota's Highway Patrol will be getting $467,000 in federal money. This money will come from the Department of Transportation. It'll be used to improve safe driver operations among large trucks and vehicles operating around them. The money will fund an education program aiming to ensure that accurate and timely information regarding carrier and vehicle statutes. There's only about 100 more days until Christmas. You can sign up to ring the bells this season for the Salvation Army and hope that those of you can help others that need that help. The nonprofit says that the support will help hardworking families put presents under the tree and have a home for Christmas, serve thousands of meals each year, and more. To sign up, we have a link on this story on our website. Tomorrow at 5, we'll be airing a new episode of Rides with Jay Thomas. If you can't catch it then, try KXJB Channel 4 on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You can also find it on connected TVs via Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Just download and launch the VNL app for your TV. The show will also be available on the website rideswithjthomas.tv. Stick around later on Valley News Live at 5. How much is the right amount when it comes to tipping at a restaurant?
Folks across northern Minnesota have seen hefty rainfall over the last 48 hours, 2 to 4 plus for some. Liz sent in this photo from Thief River Falls. Looks like about 3.5 inches of rain. More rain on the way with isolated strong to severe storms. time and allow for you coming up next in your hour by hour forecast.